Hi, my name is Dr. Todd Case, mental coach and sports psychologist for almost 25 years now. And one of the things that I'm so dedicated to is making sure that the mind is not getting in the way of a golfer's performance. Again, there's great swings, great bodies, great skill, but the mind continues to be that X factor that gets in the way. I've seen more great swings among junior golfers, sometimes all the way as young as middle school, that are just incredible. But again, does that make them a great player? Absolutely not. They need to make sure that their mind is enhancing their game, that their mind is ready so that their skill can come out in tournament play. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to tournament play, if a junior wants to make the college ranks, if a college player wants to make the travel team, if a mini tour player wants to make the tour, if a tour player wants to have a top 5 finish in order to make, money or a win on the tour, their mind is what does it. That's the X factor. And so my commitment and my passion and what I do for the last 25 years is make sure that that is real. Make sure that a golfer is practicing this part. Now, one of the things I pride myself on personally is that I stay on top of the various tools out there to help mental performance. If you're working with me, one difference is that we're gonna be on the golf course. We're gonna be on the range. We're gonna be on the putting green. You're gonna have a club in your hand the majority of the time, because that's where you're going to learn how to mentally perform. But one of the tools that I want you to understand that is one that I'm a strong believer in, and one that's been a difference maker in so many of my golfers, is from an organization called HeartMath. And one of the tools that they have, or a number of the tools that they have, is M-Wave, M-Wave Pro, Inner Balance. But the Inner Balance is a portable one. And I make sure that every single golfer I'm working with, it's a mandate, because this is a different type of mental training. Most of the time, we are training the mind. Now, whatever goes on in your mind goes immediately to the brain, and then it goes to the body. So if your mind is thinking about negative things, like don't screw this up, or just close it out, I only have 3 holes to go, if I can par out, or I wonder what that college coach is thinking who's watching me. All of those things that are going on in the mind go to the brain sends them to the body. Well, those types of thoughts are gonna create stress in the body, which is going to prevent a fluid swing, which then goes downhill from there. You're not going to hit consistent shots. You're not going to hit the shots that you know you're capable of hitting. Well, where the Inner Balance comes in is that I'm taking and helping golfers take a completely different approach. So we're gonna train the mind, but most of the time, golfers are in their heads too much. And so what the Inner Balance is going to do is help golfers train their minds and get their bodies in a position through their hearts. The heart is considered almost like a little brain. There are more signals from the heart that go to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. The heart is simply not just an organ that pumps blood. It is far more complex. And so what the technology from HeartMath does is it helps golfers get inside their heart, get inside their bodies. That's where I want them to be. Great athletic performance doesn't come from thinking. Great athletes do. They don't think. You're not gonna hear a basketball player, he or she is not gonna say, well, I was thinking this when there was great performance. Nor are you gonna see it with golf. Great athletic performance comes from doing, not thinking. And because of the technology, which is wonderful, all the way from the K-vest to understand the body, to all the technology of the swing, all great stuff. But what it's led to over the years is golfers are overthinking. They're in their head. When you're in your head, you're not going to have fluid athletic movement. My job as a mental coach is to make certain that golfers are behaving like athletes, because that's what they are. And so the inner balance is going to help this. So what the inner balance is doing is it's training a golfer to have heart rate variability that is very smooth and very fluid. And based on that, it's going to create a positive mood state. It's helping the golfer go to the heart, go into their body, because that's where they need to be in great performance. They don't need to be in their heads. I don't want them in their heads. So that's what I love about the inner balance, is because it is helping my players go into their bodies where I want them to be. And it's training their bodies and their hearts to be in the right place. Because when you're out on the golf course, I want you to be in your body. So many golfers today are doing what I call neck up competing. And again, if you're neck up competing, you are not going to reach your potential. And so what I call whole experience golf, meaning mind, body, and heart, that's what I'm building. And the inner balance is such an incredible tool because it helps golfers get into their bodies, get into their hearts, and create and know the experience of what it feels like to play great golf. Not think it, because if you're thinking, you're done. But if you're experiencing it, you got a great chance to perform to your skill level or go and finally reach the potential. So one of the things that's really cool about this tool, and it's a very simple tool, is that it provides us accurate data. Every time you use the inner balance, you get data. And so you can see how you're progressing. A lot of the times we talk about relaxing and making sure you're not thinking and making sure you have that confidence, but we don't really know. This tool has the measurable data to say, are you in your heart? Are you in a state of what heart math calls coherence? And so I'm trying to help golfers build a state of coherence. Because if their heart is in a state of coherence, their body is going to be in a relaxed state. Their body is going to be fluid. They're going to make great shots. And they're going to make great decisions on the golf course. So this is truly a game changer. And it is fun, it's interactive, it's right on your phone. You can take it anywhere. Now there are more elaborate ones that we use on the laptop, and that's certainly fine, but I make sure that I go and I help golfers, one, understand this piece of technology, but two, I teach them the skills to build coherence. And there are 6 to 8 very basic drills and skills that I make sure every single player I'm working with learns. Because it's going to be something you do when you're off the golf course. It's going to be something you're going to be able to do on the golf course. Like if all of a sudden you hit a shot that you're not happy with, let's say off the tee box you blow it into a right hazard, okay? Well, that happens. But by learning how to be in a state of coherence and accessing that state very quickly, by the time you get to that next shot, you are going to be ready. Because your mind is going to be settled, your heart and your body are going to be relaxed. And again, it's a very real skill that you can learn. It's not something that you're born with. It's not something that you're gonna learn in a story or in a concept of golf psychology book. This is something you're going to make real. I love working with the players. We put the inner balance on them. I can see where their state of coherence is when they're putting, when they're chipping, when they're off the tee box. Because then I can see, and more importantly, the golfer can see, hey, I'm not in a state of coherence when I'm going off the tee box. So how do I need to get that? Because I know I can hit this driver. I can see it on the video that I've got an incredible swing, but somehow it's not translating. That's where this comes in. And that's what I want everyone to understand, that if you're gonna work with me, you're gonna use the inner balance, because it is a game-changing tool. So not only are we changing the game, but we're talking about mental performance through the mind, but now we're talking about mental performance from the heart. So we're hitting it from both sides. Now, many people aren't doing this. And and that's my commitment, is that I want to make sure we are doing everything that you can and that I can to make sure you are getting your mind in a great place so that your skill can come out. Again, very simple tool that provides data, is fun, is interactive, and most importantly will lead to lower scores. So if you want more information on this, certainly contact me on the website, drtoddkaysgolf.com, or simply you can go onto the website and purchase this inner balance, and we can set up times, even if it's Skype, if you're not in town, to set up 2 or 3 sessions where I can explain the tools and the techniques for you that will definitely change your game. I hope to hear from you.